Okay, I'm going to try and show you here something to see that you understand stuff. Get out of there, birds. Get out! Okay, this here is the seal of Saturn, okay? But it's also representing something else. It's the tree of life. This is why Saturn is so closely summed to Earth. Okay, so when you look at the seal of Saturn, it has a line that goes through it like this. See the line? Okay, and then it has a circle around it. And normally it'll have a circle around it on a medallion like this. You see it? So the circle is 360 degrees. Okay, it's 360. Okay, the 360 degrees, that represents life. That's why that stupid song by Elton John, The Circle of Life, because it's a loop. It never ends. That's what's infinity. That's infinity. It means in time. Infinity means in time. It does not mean forever in the idea that you understand it. It's a circle. It goes round and round and round. And the symbol for it is you'll see the symbol for time, which is, remember as I showed you in the other video, it is a the blue line is linear time, and the little snake looking thing is a sine wave, and that's where the word sin comes from sine, which is time, which goes back to Saturn. That's why, like I told you before, is when they tell you in the religious writings that you are born of natural sin, you are born into time. And the wages for sin is death. Because time, given enough of it, destroys everything. But only on this third dimensional level. It rules over us because it's the fourth dimensional level. And then it goes on up from that to the ninth dimension, which is Saturn. So this tree of life goes up to 10, which would be the one above Saturn. But what they deal with is everything from the ninth down, for the most part. So when we look at the seal of Saturn, there it is there. I'm going to show you how this turns into something else. Hang on. So the Kabbalistic tree of life has a certain amount of planets that are actually dimensions. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so you can see where I filled it in. You see, there's 9 circles. Each one of those, and it depends on which tree of life you look at, but usually Saturn is the 9th dimension. The one above that is called Kether, and that's beyond where you can get to relatively easy. These guys, this thing is the god of this planet. I didn't say it's my god, so don't misconstrue what I'm saying. So here we have 9. The Earth being down here, Saturn being up here. Okay? On some, Saturn is off to the left. But in this one, it's the tree of life. That's the one in the Bible that they're talking about, not the one that somebody ate an apple. An apple is a metaphor for knowledge. But I'm going to show you. Remember I showed you the hexagon? Well, that's what this is. So I'm going to connect everything together. And now, what do we have here? You see how I connected them all together? Now watch. I'm going to show you where they get this interesting... Twink, be quiet. I'm talking. Twink hates it. Just give me a second here because I got to color these in. I've gotten better at coloring. At least now I'm staying inside the lines. And if things keep going well, I'll be getting hooked on phonics, and I'll be able to spell big words like cat and mouse. Hang on a minute. Bear with me while I color this in. Okay. Now the number of Saturn is 9 in this aspect because it's the 9th dimension. And so I'm going to show you how this comes about when they talk about 33. When you see the number 33, it's a designation for Saturn because it's 3 times 3, or 3 squared. Okay? They use math to use to hide their codes or whatever. So a 33 would be 3 times 3. So when they say it's a 33rd degree Mason, that means that he understands as high as you can the workings of the ways of Saturn. That's why I believe that most of your world leaders are high-ranking Masons, because they see life in a totally different way than you do. And that's why it's very easy for them to send people off to die, because life does not appear to them the same way it does to you, because they become more like the machine and less of a human. Almost like Spock from Star Trek. It's interesting. But anyway, let me show you. So now I colored in, and you see how you have 3 squares. That's where the phrase 3 squares a day comes from, because you have to get what they're saying in code is you need to get your daily dose of Saturn, see, because that's the god of this planet. And so all the secret societies, that's their way of doing it. So when they talk about don't be a square, red square, Tiananmen Square, Times Square, blockhead, that type of stuff, those things are put in there by these organizations. So that way they can revel in it, that you're using words of their God, and you never know it. So that's where you get 3 squares a day from. And if you go look at a picture of the Sears Tower, you'll see that they have this exact same array going up the side of it. It's a big black obelisk, which is a big black, basically an extended cube. And on the top, they got 2 antennas like this. Okay? So this is where you get 3 squares from. And then I know you've seen this design on sweaters. You see it in restaurants. Well, when you see these designs, you know that that's a secret society that owns that corporation. And so that's where you get 3 squares a day. That's where you get your Xbox 360. So this stuff is not as mysterious as it appears to be once you understand what these guys are doing. Now the dollar symbol that you see is nothing more than a time. There's nothing more than this. Okay? That's what a dollar symbol is. If we turn it on the side, it's linear time with a sine wave. And you can say, well, that's an American symbol. No, that's a sign from physics, and that's what alchemy is. It deals with it's alchemy. It's half spirituality and half scientist. Half scientist, half sorcerer. So that's a symbol for time. If you look at the English pound, what is it? It's this. It's an L, as in EL, L, Saturn. If you go and you look at monies from around the world, you see that they have 2 lines. Like, I can't remember which one this is, but I'll draw it anyway. It has, it's a T, and then they put two lines like this. I'll do a vid on it, but just so you can see it right here. It looks like this, okay? I think that's Cambodian, maybe. It's like this. But all they're really doing is, it's called a partial sigil. A sigil is part of a whole picture. It's just like a little bit that they left out. Sometimes they add stuff to throw you off. But if we just connect it like this, then you get the loop or the ring, and it represents time, and it represents the planet Saturn. And Saturn is what rules time and space. That's what keeps us going. And as the thing spins, it creates synergy. The energy that's created creates time and space and gravity as we understand it in this 3rd dimension. So these guys have learned over time how to manipulate these things. And they're manipulating time, and in my opinion, I think that CERN is they're trying to stop time, because I think at the end of what you would consider time, there's something not so great waiting for them. And so they're trying to stop it. And so, they've been cutting time back in pieces. But time is like a rubber band. When you stretch it and you let it go and it snaps, that energy has to go somewhere. And so that otherwise you get snapped in the finger. But if you do that to your buddy, he gets hit. You know, and it's not out of the realm to think that maybe they're taking this energy that's coming off of Saturn and manipulating it and pointing it in an array of antennae called HARP, which basically a HARP does what? It creates tones, okay? And they're hitting places like Japan, or HARP is a communication center right back to that place. Either or, that system is not set up for what they're telling you it's set up for, because nothing on this planet is as it appears. So, I'll do in my next video, I'm going to do one on time is money, because it really is. But not in the way, when you listen to where they say Jesus threw the money changers out of the Temp L, okay, Jesus is not affiliated with Temp L, but in this case, he is indirectly. I'll do that on my next video.